Round 2, Minties. This is the second video I'm releasing today. This is the Uncanny Omar, and join me for an advanced look at some of these trade paperbacks being released by Marvel on February 12th. So please stay tuned. Okay, now before we get started, I wanted to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to David Gabriel, Michael Breen, all the folks at Marvel for sending advanced copies our way. I've done overviews of Dawn of X and the two Epic collections earlier today, and I've done a spotlight on Marvel The End, so I won't be doing those again, but those are coming out on February 12th. Now, let's get this started. We're kicking it off with Aero, or Aero? I'm not really sure how to pronounce this character's name. This particular volume of Aero, though, is 136 pages and retails for $17.99. Now, what's interesting about this is that I did recently an overview of Swordmaster, and it seems like both this and Swordmaster are adapted into English by Greg Pak. So it's pretty interesting that these characters have already appeared in China. So she's a Chinese superhero that debuted in, and I do want to give credit here, Zhu Lifen is the writer, Kang is the artist. So let's look a little bit in here. So it's art very similar. Actually, it's a lot similar to the art style that you saw in Swordmaster, but the colors make it look like an anime. Seriously, there are frames of animation in here, is what it looks like. And it's very easy to follow. It's very action-packed. Let's look a little more here. So this was a character that debuted in the War of the Realms, the new Agents of Atlas. And along with the characters in Swordmaster. Now let's look all the way in the back for extras. So you have variant covers. Of course, you've got one by Art Germ, who just has, I don't know how the heck that guy draws a cover to just about everything. There's the John Tyler Christopher covers. I always like these toy covers. They're pretty cool. And then the character designs by King. So see what I mean by straight up out of an anime? That's what it looks like. Oh, Peach Momoko. I always did like Peach Momoko's. Oh, and it's a Mary Jane variant. So if you like the stuff in Swordmaster in Agents of Atlas, the new Agents of Atlas, I guess check this out. Next up, we have Target Vader, collecting the first 6 issues of Star Wars Target Vader. Now, we only have one omnibus of this, and we have a couple of other hardcovers, so I'm hoping these all eventually get put into an omnibus or an oversized hardcover. This story right here is written by Robbie Thompson. And then you have all these different artists right there. One of them being Mark Lanning. So pretty much, this is a pretty simple story. Darth Vader's on the hunt for the crime syndicate that's operating outside of the Empire. And you know how Vader doesn't like people that don't follow the rules. So collecting the first 6 issues, the book retails for, oh, and you see familiar characters here from the original Star Wars years, Marvel years, rather. The book retails for $17.99. And it has 136 pages. There's some really kick-ass artwork in here. Really like the way these artists draw Vader. Yeah, you see familiar faces, so that's cool. I'm not going to spoil it for those that have not read it, but let's look in the back here for extras. So here's the movie variant. It's hard to tell what's a movie variant these days with the computer-generated colors that we have. And you have design variants here. Oh, that one's awesome. John McCrea. Is that Hitman? John McCrea? Marco Cicchetto. Love that guy's artwork. And then Vader Dark Visions. And where else you can pick up Darth Vader trades. So we have Age of Conan. Now I've done Age of Conan Baelid. And these are pretty interesting because these stories take place before the characters appear within the pages of Conan. So this is written by Meredith Finch. And it's drawn by Anakin. Oh my gosh. But that cover, wow, that's the cover to the trade. It's the Anacleto cover. So here we have Age of Conan Valeria. This collects the first 5 issues, and it tells the story of Valeria before she appears in the Red Nail storyline. So this particular volume is 112 pages, And I believe it retails for $15.99. Yep. And of course, because it's part of the Conan verse, parental advisory. Because there are some scenes of violence, and not over-the-top violence, but just, you know, Conan violence, I guess is the way to put it. Now, without giving anything away, let's look at the back for extras. So you have one of those covers by John Tyler Christopher that I like. And then a variant. It's not the only variant. There's other variants within the chapter breaks, by the way. Next up, we have one of these Marvel Select hardcovers that retail for $24.99. And the character of this particular Marvel Select is Captain Marvel. And the story they chose is The Life of Captain Marvel by Margaret Stohl. And it's got artwork by Carlos Pacheco, who does the present day artwork, and then Rafael Fonteriz, who does the flashback artwork. And because of the color tones that they use, it really makes it work. So we are reintroduced to the character of Carol Danvers, who is now going by Captain Marvel. It's in present day, and she's talking to Tony about why she's in the Avengers and why she's so reckless. This is a retelling of her origin and doing a little bit of retconning as far as her relationship with her father. I'm not going to go into details if you've never read it. And I think, to me, this was probably the best choice for a Captain Marvel Select. If we're talking about Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, of course. Because I always find it hard to suggest a Captain Marvel story to people that have enjoyed the movies and want to know more about the character. Because unfortunately, at least for me, the Kelly Sue DeConnick run, or even the Miss Marvel stuff when Brian Reed was doing it, I don't think it really captured the essence of her. But this, I thought, did a really good job retconning a little bit and retelling a little bit of her origin. And also this beautiful freaking artwork. Carlos Pacheco is one of my favorite artists. So that goes a long way for me. Now, of course, like I said, he does the present day stuff. So the comic book is really more about Carol dealing with her family issues and finding out a little bit of the truth about her parents that kind of breaks her up. If you've never read it, it's a really good read. This particular volume is 120 pages, and it collects the 5 issues of the miniseries. Let's look here in the back for extras. I don't think there's any. I was wrong. There's the #1 variant by Art Germ. And I want to say they used that for the trade paperback, if I'm not mistaken. Jim Bartell, Carrie Andrews. Oh, they did. They did the second printing of the trade paperback. It's done by Art Germ. This one's going to be a little harder to show off because of the different collections. We have a Marvel Select, we have some trades, we have a graphic novel, and then we have this Visions of Wakanda, which we'll look at next. But here are what the spines look like. Really like the design of the end spines with the symbols down at the bottom. And this is what the Marvel Select editions all look like. So this one's pretty unique. This is Black Panther Visions of Wakanda. And I wanted to do a quick comparison to kind of give you an idea what the dimensions are. So this is a hardback, and it has no dust jacket. It retails for $29.99. It's part of the Marvel Pop Art. Those are the people that do the art books. And let's look at this really quick. So this serves for the pure purpose of just catching you up with Black Panther. Who he is, how he first started out. I mean, we all know who TChalla is from the movies, but in case you wanted to find out more about him and his world, or his country, that's really cool. Okay, so that's the original. And there's a story behind why they wanted him to cover up his face. So it's all in here. It's behind the scenes stuff. And it's got original artwork, of course, from Jack Kirby. You have Mark Texeria, John Romita Jr., John Byrne, Rich Buckler, John Buscema. Those are some of the artists that I've noticed in here. Who else is in here? Carlos Pacheco, I believe. Yeah. So you have a chronological appearance of Black Panther and where he has appeared in the comic books. Where he went after he was with the Avengers, where he started with his own limited series. Is this the McGregor stuff? Yeah, this is the Don McGregor stuff. Awesome. Those are like his solo adventures. So, the one thing you may have issues with is probably trying to read the panels. I mean, maybe it's just me, my old age. Probably. Some of you youngins probably won't have an issue with the small lettering. The behind the scenes. This is when Christopher Priest took over the run and why he didn't want to write Black Panther with Mark Texeira. This is what I meant by Mark Texeira's wonderful artwork. So this is a pretty interesting book. Like I said, it retails for $29.99. This is the Hudlin run with John Romita. It has 348 pages. Now, if you don't care about spoilers or anything like that, you can read this and catch you up on the entire history of T'Challa, his country, his family, his friends, his powers, and what he's up to these days. So I think it's a pretty unique way of doing it. And I wonder if Marvel's going to continue doing this with other characters. I think that's a pretty cool way. My brother loves stuff like this. Like, he has the World of X-Men, those hardcovers. And I'm like, dude, I am a walking World of X-Men. Why do you need that book? But anyway, there are people that visually like things like this. And I think this is perfect for those people. Or anyone that has watched the movie and wants to know about the comic, I think this is a perfect gift for them. Okay, so here we have Dr. Aphra, A Rogue's End. And that cover might spoil something for some of you people. The book retails for $17.99. And what I mean by some of you people is people that have been reading the oversized hardcovers. Cy Spurrier's the main writer on this. And if you read the oversized hardcover, it just collected the first 2 trades. And this is volume 7 of Dr. Aphra. I'm hoping they continue those oversized hardcovers because I really enjoyed her character. So I'm not going to flip too much through here, but based on that cover and based on what I'm flipping here, it looks like she is back with Darth Vader, which is where she started out. So this particular volume collects Dr. Aphra 37 through 40, or Aphra. Can't remember how you all told me to pronounce it. Annual number 3, and then material from Star Wars Empire Ascendant. 144 pages. And let's look in the back here for extras. So we have some uncolored pages. And we have the annual number 2 variant by Colleen Doran. Oh, Distant Soil Corp, Colleen Doran. And then we have advertisements for other Star Wars books. Last but certainly not least is Miles Morales' Great Responsibility. This is part of their graphic novel line geared more towards kids, but anybody can purchase them. I think it's a pretty unique way of buying books because this book retails for $12.99 and has 240 pages. So it's a lot thicker than most of those other books that are $17.99. So this collects the story of Miles Morales, still in the Ultimate Universe. But it's a pretty cool introduction to kids or anybody that wants to get into the character. This collects a huge chunk of his story, including the Cataclysm stuff and when it went back to the original numbering system, 200. Like I said, this is before he came into the 616 universe. So this is when he was in the Ultimate Universe. David Marquez, I believe, is the main artist on this. Yeah, he is. And there's the Cataclysm stuff. Ultimate Cataclysm. Now, if you're interested in any of these books, you can purchase them from cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. Now, that was the contents of each of the books and the page count. Let me know in the comments down below which one you're picking up, if you've read any of these, if you're interested in any of them, or going in blind. Please don't forget to check out our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and that is at NearMintCon. And don't forget to check out the videos with Marvel The End Spotlight, Dawn of X, and those 2 epics I mentioned. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you for watching, and remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint.